Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Lately, everyone's been talking about superhero fatigue. For years, people have said audiences are over the genre, but looking at how recent Marvel and DC movies have been received, it's clear things aren't quite the same anymore. And with tons of new superhero flicks on the way, not just from Marvel and DC, but other studios too, it's time to dive in and see what's coming up. Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe just hit a big milestone. Filming is officially wrapped, and we got our first real look at Nicholas Galitzine as He-Man. The 2026 reboot, directed by Travis Knight, reimagines this classic 1980s fantasy saga. Galitzine plays Prince Adam, who can channel the power of the Power Sword to transform into He-Man, the warrior destined to protect Eternia. The movie will also put a fresh spin on his backstory. This time, Adam grows up exiled on Earth before rediscovering his true heritage and returning to fight Skeletor, played by Jared Leto. Galitzine shared a shadowy teaser image of himself in the iconic costume, holding the Power Sword. While most details are hidden, the armor looks super faithful to the original toy line design. He also thanked the cast and crew, calling it the role of a lifetime, and even posted some cool behind-the-scenes videos of sword training. Camila Mendes, who plays Teela, also celebrated the wrap with her own BTS photos, calling the shoot one of the most exciting and challenging experiences of her career. The film promises a mix of modern Earth elements and classic Eternian lore, with costumes staying true to the beloved franchise. Considering Knight's success with Bumblebee and how Mattel nailed Barbie, fans are hopeful this reboot will balance nostalgia and fresh storytelling. Masters of the Universe is scheduled to be released in the US on June 5, 2026 by Amazon MGM Studios. Supergirl. Supergirl is directed by Craig Gillespie with a screenplay by Anna Nogueira. It'll have a very different tone than Superman, more of a cosmic revenge story with Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, but darker. Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon and Sirens made her DC debut in James Gunn's Superman, and now she's headlining her own film. Supergirl hits theaters on June 26, 2025, almost exactly a year after Gunn's Superman dominated the box office. Filming wrapped back in May, so the movie is deep in post-production and on track for release. The story is based on the 2021 comic Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. It's a darker, more cosmic take on Kara Zor-El. She's not the optimistic version we're used to. This Supergirl grew up on a dying piece of Krypton, witnessing unimaginable loss before coming to Earth. In the movie, she's aimless until a young alien named Ruthie asks for her help avenging her father's murder. That sparks an epic spacefaring quest to hunt down the villain Krem, while also racing to save Krypto the dog after he's critically injured. James Gunn explained it best. Superman grew up on Earth with loving parents, while Kara was raised on a rock and saw everyone she knew die. So expect a much tougher, more hardened Supergirl compared to her cousin. The cast is shaping up nicely. Alcock leads as Kara, Eve Ridley plays Ruthie, Matthias Schoenaerts is the villain Krem, David Krumholtz and Emily Beecham are playing Kara's Kryptonian parents. But the biggest casting is that Jason Momoa shows up as Lobo. But who exactly is this dude? Lobo is a crazy over-the-top bounty hunter from the planet Zarnia. He first popped up in the 80s looking like a totally different character. Think purple hair, red eyes, and a flashy leotard. But in the 90s, he got a serious makeover into the biker, cigar-chomping, dreadlocked anti-hero fans love today. He was originally kind of a parody of Marvel's tough guys like Wolverine and Punisher, but people embraced him for his gritty, chaotic vibe. Lobo's insanely strong. He can even go toe-to-toe with Superman. He's got wild powers like super speed, regeneration, and even, at one point, the ability to clone himself from a single drop of blood. Oh, and fun fact, he wiped out his entire planet with mutant scorpions, earning himself the title The Last Zarnian. His name might sound like wolf in Spanish, but in his language it literally means he who devours your entrails and enjoys it. Yeah, he's that guy. Despite being ruthless, he does have a code. If he gives his word, he keeps it, even if it means siding with heroes sometimes. Also, he loves space dolphins, no joke. Outside the comics, Lobo hasn't had much luck. He's popped up in animated shows like Young Justice and Superman the Animated Series, and even had a brief live-action appearance on Krypton. Warner Brothers has been trying to make a Lobo movie since 2009, with names like Guy Ritchie, Michael Bay, and even Dwayne Johnson attached at different points, but it never happened. Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man is officially swinging back into action. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige just dropped some exciting details about Spider-Man Brand New Day, confirming it's going to be a much more grounded, street-level story than the previous multiverse-heavy films. Brand New Day marks Tom Holland's first outing as Spider-Man since No Way Home in 2021. That movie ended with Doctor Strange erasing everyone's memories of Peter Parker to protect the multiverse, leaving Peter completely alone for the first time. He moved into a tiny apartment, made himself a classic homemade suit, and truly became the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man we know from the comics. Fans have been wondering if the next film would keep that more personal vibe or dive back into the multiverse. Feige confirmed it's definitely sticking with the street-level approach. We're seeing Tom's Peter as a proper Spider-Man saving the city, dealing with crime in New York instead of world-ending threats, he explained. Think more Homecoming than No Way Home. But here's where it gets even cooler. Jon Bernthal's Punisher is joining the cast. Feige said it made sense to bring in another street-level character, especially since Punisher actually debuted in a Spider-Man comic back in the day. He hinted that the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, is taking inspiration straight from iconic comic book covers and is bringing them to life in the movie. Besides Holland and Bernthal, we've got Stranger Things star Sadie Sink and the Bears' Liza Colon-Zayas in undisclosed roles. Zendaya and Jacob Batalong are rumored to return as MJ and Ned, but it's unclear how they'll fit in since their characters don't remember Peter. There's also been talk of Mark Ruffalo showing up as Bruce Banner, but Marvel hasn't confirmed that yet. Spider-Man 4 is swinging into theaters on July 31st, 2026 as part of Marvel Phase 6. Originally, it was supposed to drop on July 24th, but it got pushed back a week, likely to avoid competing too closely with Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which also stars Tom Holland and hits theaters on July 17th. Filming is expected to kick off sometime this summer, but there's still no exact start date locked in. Hopefully, production gets moving soon because any more delays could push the release back again. Clayface. Tom Rhys-Harries has officially landed the lead role in Clayface, DC Studios' next major movie. The Welsh actor, known for Apple TV's Suspicion, Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, and the Ralph Fiennes Juliette Binoche film The Return, beat out a strong list of British talent, including Jack O'Connell, Tom Blythe, and George McKay. The film will be directed by Speak No Evil filmmaker James Watkins and is the first big DC Studios project after next summer's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which drops on September 11th, 2026. Production will take place at Warner Brothers' Leavesden in the UK. For those who don't know, Clayface is one of Batman's most iconic villains. He first appeared in Detective Comics number 40 back in 1940 as a once successful actor, who, after his career fell apart, turned to crime while adopting the identity of a horror movie character he once played. Over time, he evolved into a shape-shifting villain with a clay-like body, making him one of the Dark Knight's more visually striking foes. The project has some major creative power behind it. James Gunn and Peter Safran are producing alongside the Batman director Matt Reeves and Lynn Harris, with Chantel Nong serving as executive producer. The initial draft of the script came from horror mastermind Mike Flanagan, with additional work by Oscar-nominated writer Hossein Amini. Rhys-Harries, who trained at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, brings a solid mix of theater and screen experience to the role. His casting suggests DC is going for a more nuanced, possibly tragic take on Clayface, rather than just a CGI-heavy monster. Avengers Doomsday. Marvel's Avengers Doomsday is shaping up to be one of the most game-changing entries in the MCU yet. Revealed at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, the film was originally Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, but after all the upheaval around Jonathan Majors, Marvel shifted gears completely. Now, the big villain is none other than Dr. Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr. Yep, you read that right. RDJ is officially back in the MCU, but this time as a darker, alternate universe version of Tony Stark, who becomes Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man. The reveal blew fans away at Comic-Con, where Downey even showed up in Doom's mask, fully leaning into this shocking twist. It ties perfectly into the Multiverse Saga, which has been teasing endless possibilities ever since Loki, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home. The cast is stacked. We'll see Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, all fresh from the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot. The Thunderbolts will also join the fight, bringing back Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, and more. And if that wasn't enough, some X-Men legends, including Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, are rumored to return as well, making this a true multiversal crossover event. Plot details are still under wraps, but it's rumored to take inspiration from Ultimate Comics' Doomsday, where a multiverse-destroying villain threatens all realities, and the shocking twist is that it's someone the heroes once trusted. In this case, an alternate Tony Stark turned Doom is the ultimate threat, forcing the MCU's biggest heroes to unite like never before. Avengers Doomsday is set to hit theaters in the US on December 18, 2026. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, June 25, 2027. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is still a while away, but the hype is already real. This is the third movie in the beloved SpiderVerse saga, and while it's been hit with some serious delays, it's finally moving along. And yeah, it's shaping up to be one of the most anticipated superhero movies coming our way. We've rounded up everything you need to know: release date, plot teasers, cast updates, and more. The first images already hint at an epic adventure across the multiverse, following that huge cliffhanger in Across the Spider-Verse. Ready to reunite with Miles Morales? This time he'll even face off against a parallel version of himself who's become the Prowler. It's gonna get intense. Beyond the Spider-Verse swings into theaters on June 4, 2027, with the date announced at CinemaCon 2025. It was originally supposed to drop in March 2024, but the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes in 2023 threw everything off schedule. Haley Steinfeld even admitted back then she hadn't recorded her lines yet. Thankfully, things are back on track now, with voice work resuming after the strikes ended. There were rumors the film was struggling due to creative differences, but the team quickly shut those down. Producer Chris Miller confirmed nothing was scrapped and that everything's coming along nicely. Haley Steinfeld also revealed in April 2025 that she's already deep into recording her lines. Now let's discuss the story. If you remember the ending of Across the Spider-Verse, Miles ended up on Earth 42 by mistake, where his dad is dead, his uncle Aaron is alive, and that world's Miles is actually the Prowler. Meanwhile, Gwen is putting together a team to rescue him, and the Spot is still out there causing chaos. So yeah, there's a lot to pick up from. Beyond the Spider-Verse will dive right in. Early footage shown at CinemaCon teased Miles on the run, fighting the Prowler, reuniting with Gwen, and going on another multiverse adventure. Expect a race against time as Miles tries to get back to his world to save his dad. The filmmakers are calling this the Empire Strikes Back of the Spider-Verse trilogy, dark, emotional, and setting up a huge payoff. Co-director Kemp Powers promised it'll be a satisfying conclusion, so fingers crossed. As for who's in it, pretty much everyone you loved from Across the Spider-Verse is back. Shamik Moore returns as Miles, with Haley Steinfeld as Gwen. Brian Tyree Henry and Luna Lauren Velez return as Miles' parents, and Mahershala Ali is back as Uncle Aaron. We'll also see more of Peter B. Parker, Jessica Drew, Pavitar Prabhakar, Spider-Punk, Spider-Bite, Scarlet Spider, and Miguel O'Hara. The Spot will still be causing major problems too. Fans are also speculating on cameos, maybe even Tom Holland, since the previous films teased live-action Spideys like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. The sequel to Paramount's hit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem just got pushed back. Originally slated for October 2026, the movie will now hit theaters on September 17, 2027. Why the delay? It seems Paramount's international animation studios, Micros Animation in Paris and Cinesight in Montreal, are running into some scheduling and logistical challenges. These are the same teams that gave the first film its unique, vibrant look, so it makes sense the studio wants to give them the time they need to keep the quality high. The first movie teased an epic sequel in its post-credit scene, showing Shredder's silhouette over the New York skyline as Cynthia Ultram hinted at recruiting him to take down the Turtles. Director Jeff Rowe has already promised a more villain-focused story for Part 2, saying, "Shredder is just a great iconic character, like the Joker. Even if you're not a fan, you know who he is. We definitely want a villain-forward film, but still rooted in the Turtles story." Despite the delay, TMNT fans don't have to wait too long to see more of the brothers. Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus have already dropped Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a 12-episode animated series that directly continues the Mutant Mayhem story. The show features the same voice cast: Micah Abbey, Shimon Brown Jr., Brady Noon, Nicholas Cantu, and Io Edebri, keeping the tone and characters consistent. Plus, a second season of Tales is already confirmed for 2025, though there's no exact release date yet. The Batman Part 2. Great news for Bat fans. Matt Reeves and co-writer Mattson Tomlin have finally finished the script for The Batman Part 2. After plenty of waiting and a couple of delays, the sequel is officially moving forward. The movie was originally planned for 2025 but got pushed back twice. Now, it's locked in for October 1st, 2027. James Gunn explained the delays were simply because Reeves wanted to take the time to craft the best story possible. As Gunn put it, "Let the guy write the screenplay the way he needs to. You like the movie because of Matt, so let him do his thing." Well, the wait seems worth it. The studio is reportedly thrilled with the new draft. The Batman Part 2 is still an Elseworlds project, meaning it won't connect to the main DC universe Gunn and Peter Safran are building. Instead, it'll continue the gritty, grounded world Reeves created with the first film. Before the sequel hits theaters, we'll also see the Penguin series on HBO Max, which ties directly into this story. Plot details are still unknown, but Reeves says his focus is still on keeping Batman, Bruce Wayne at the emotional core of the story. He doesn't want the rogues gallery to overshadow the character, which often happens in sequels. Robert Pattinson is obviously returning as Batman. Andy Serkis will be back as Alfred, and Barry Coogan's Joker, who made a cameo in the first film, will reportedly have a much bigger role this time. Reeves co-wrote the script with Mattson Tomlin and is expected to direct again. With the screenplay done, pre-production will likely kick into gear soon, with about 2 years needed for filming and post-production on a movie of this scale. Well, that's it for today. Would you prefer Secret Wars as one huge movie or 2 parts? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.